welcome to Lesson 7 of B.1, the Serengeti Unit. I'm Katie Easton, and I'm a high school science teacher using OpenSciEd. In this video, I will give you an overview of Lesson 7 and wrap up with some tips and tricks. Lesson 7 is really important because students make connections between predators and prey and the interactions the wildebeest have with the lions and the spotted hyenas in the Serengeti ecosystem. My students struggled with the Serengeti board game, so stay tuned for some strategies to help with the game setup and data collection. First, let's recap how we got to Lesson 7. During Lesson 6, we applied our knowledge of limiting factors and carrying capacity to a new scenario involving wild dogs. We viewed data related to wild dog populations and pack sizes as it relates to prey and land needed to support those packs. We figured out that data about limiting factors can be used to determine carrying capacity. We use this data to make predictions and suggestions on whether a new conservation had enough territory and prey to support a new pack of wild dogs. At the end of Lesson 6, we concluded that we needed more information about the role of predators in the Serengeti ecosystem. Let's take a look at the highlights from Lesson 7. Lesson 7 takes 3 45-minute days. It involves a hands-on investigation using the Serengeti game board and pieces. The 20 minutes of material preparation listed here is to prepare the game board, game pieces, and make copies of the Meet Your Agent readings, the data collection sheets, the game instructions, and data analysis handouts. I will note that the first time making the boards and the game pieces, if you do not have an OpenSciEd kit, will take a little bit longer than 20 minutes. Students do not need to use their individual devices unless you'd like them to explore the readings and/or data collection and analysis handouts using digital copies. I use digital copies of the Meet Your Agent readings and paper copies of the data collection and analysis handouts. There are 3 big chunks in this lesson. Let's discuss what's happening in each. The first lesson chunk is explored on day 1. Students read about the behaviors of wildebeest, lions, and spotted hyenas. In this lesson chunk, students figure out how these behaviors correlate to the rules in the Serengeti board game. The students begin to make sense of the predator-prey relationship between lions, hyenas, and wildebeest, and begin to wonder how these behaviors manifest on the Serengeti. This leads us to our next making sense loop when we gather data using our agent-based model. The second lesson chunk spans across 3 days. Students relate behaviors of wildebeest, lions, and hyenas to the Serengeti board game rules. They set up the game, they play the game, and reflect on lessons learned during the game play. Students make sense of the predator-prey relationship through gameplay. We figure out that there is a pattern of group behavior increasing the survival rate of species. This relationship leads us to the next making sense loop to define these group behaviors. The last 40 minutes of day 3 covers the third lesson chunk, where students co-construct a definition for group behavior as it provides a mechanism to explain the outcomes of the predator-prey interactions. We learn that our model has limits that can affect the types of conclusions we can make with our data. Students will begin to question the relationships with other species found on the Serengeti and lead us into Lesson 8. So in summary, on day 1 of Lesson 7, students are introduced to the behaviors of wildebeest, lions, and spotted hyenas, and agent-based modeling. Then, on day 2, students discover that these behaviors can be used to create rules within an agent-based model, and they play the Serengeti board game to collect data over predator-prey relationships. Finally, on day 3, students analyze data from their gameplay to understand and define group behaviors within species and discuss limitations to our agent-based model. Let's take a look at key moments in Lesson 7. One of the key moments of Lesson 7 is to make connections between real-life behaviors of species living in the Serengeti ecosystem and our Serengeti board game. The Serengeti board game is an unplugged example of agent-based models. Agent-based models are used to help understand complex systems, By using agents, the environments in which these agents interact, and rules that control each agent's behavior, we can simplify the more complex system of the Serengeti to focus our thoughts and understandings around only the predator-prey relationship. Without making connections between the real behaviors of wildebeest, lions, and hyenas to the rules created for each agent in the game, students will be challenged to visualize patterns in their data taken during gameplay, or even make sense of why the game is played at all. In Part 9, students play the Serengeti board game and collect data over predator-prey relationships using a handout. I'll explain more in the tips and tricks section, but I have students collect data for round 1 by watching me play all 3 agent roles on a game board at a center table. Students then move to their own tables to set up their boards and play rounds 2 through 4. They collect data from event cards and data from the dice rolls. They write down whether a single or a group of predators is attacking a single group or herd of wildebeest, and whether predator and prey succeed during the attack. We will use this data later to make sense of the patterns we see in the data and how that data can be used to make conclusions about group behaviors. In Part 12, students start compiling data and thinking about patterns within the data. They begin to understand the importance of group behaviors in species and how it relates to the survival of those species. It is during this data analysis that students begin to ask questions about what other animals are found in the Serengeti ecosystem and whether there are other interactions between other species, which leads us into Lesson 8. As students begin making connections through building their algorithms based on their chosen agents, they begin to wonder if these if-then statements are true in other ecosystems. In Part 13, we figure out that predators are more successful in a kill when working as a group, and that prey are more successful surviving an attack if they are part of a larger herd. Our co-construction of the definition of group behaviors sparked questions about zebras, antelope, and other species, and whether that would benefit them living in large groups. At the end of Lesson 7, we begin to wonder if other components found in the Serengeti ecosystem have similar interactions compared to the wildebeest, the lions, and the spotted hyenas. Students figure out that our agent-based model was limited to how many agents we could use and model on our game board. Adding more agents, environments, and rules would make the Serengeti board game more complex and cumbersome to play. This notion does make us begin to wonder what other interactions there are between agents and components are found on the Serengeti. Let's talk about some helpful strategies for Lesson 7. By far the most helpful tool I've come across for Lesson 7 is the student-facing video that describes the setup and gameplay of the Serengeti board game. It is found under Materials Preparation section of the Teacher Edition lesson plan. You can have your students setting up their boards as they watch the video. Another thing I have done in the past is I have a board already set up on a station and I run through a round of play myself, playing all 3 agents. The students, before their game, they play their own games. Reach out to your local print shops, so a Staples store, or ask your school administration about printing game boards and stickers if you do not have access to an OpenSciEd kit. My administrator led me to our print shop at a local area education agency who was able to print and laminate 6 large game boards and all the stickers I needed for about a little under $60. When you do find this shop, go ahead and go to the B.3 Lesson 3 activity at the same time and have the cell game from the cancer unit printed out as well with the accompanying stickers. The materials list for the Serengeti board calls for 1-inch poker chips. I really recommend that you purchase 1-inch bingo chips instead. They're much better size and they work better with the game board checkerboard size. Lastly, purchase 1 Tenzi dice game. You can Google Tenzi dice game. It comes up with different colored dice, enough for 6 game boards, and it's easily found on Amazon.com or at Walmart. One thing that I do yearly is I have a board set up at our station and I run through a round of play myself, playing all three agents with the students before they play their own game. I have 6 lab stations in my classroom, so I have 6 game boards that require game pieces. I labeled each of the game boards with a number from 1 to 6 on the back, and I keep all of the bingo chips and stickers, a set of laminated event cards, and 6 dice, so 2 of different colors, in a matching labeled Ziploc sandwich bag for each game board. As I'm playing the first round, I'm explaining all of the rules and the steps to the game. The students are taking data on their data sheets for round 1 as I'm playing the game. This becomes everyone's round 1, and the students go and set their boards up to play rounds 2 through 4 after all questions have been answered. As I walk around the room during the gameplay, I'm looking for correct data collection and making sure the students are following all the rules of the game. As mentioned in previous slides, group behaviors is a term that students co-construct on the 3rd day during their building understandings discussion in Part 13. Group behaviors can be defined as groups of an organism that work together to increase their survival and the survival of their relatives. There are no posters created during Lesson 7, but make sure the students hang on to their notes from their last building understanding discussion from Day 3 to help make sense of new components that are introduced during Lesson 8. Well, this is Lesson 7 in a nutshell. The Serengeti board game can be stressful to set up the first time, so be sure to give yourself and your students time and space for learning the gameplay and collecting that data. I hope you find this helpful and join us again for Lesson 8, where students are introduced to more species found in the Serengeti ecosystem, and we are also introduced to the SAGE modeler. Thank you.